So well done, guys. You deserve the money.
Absolutely right. And thanks for being with us. Look forward to seeing you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, striking close to home, a frontline Adelaide paramedic returning from Victoria becomes our latest coronavirus case. Frustration as a border breacher who'd hidden in a truck walks from court without a fine. A former high school music teacher acquitted of child sex charges. No case to answer. An SA police officer cleared of brutality after a violent arrest. 2 teenagers escape a 30-metre car plunge at Paracone. And the Crows hand Bryce Gibbs a lifeline, naming him for Saturday's Roos clash.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Jane Doyle.
Good evening. In a first for South Australia, a young paramedic's been infected with coronavirus while working on the front line of Victoria's crisis. Chief reporter Mike Smithson joins us live. And Mike, she'd been carrying out swabbing in high-rise buildings in Melbourne's hotspots.
Yes, she had, Jane. The woman in her 20s had all the correct PPE gear but still contracted the virus. So it shows just how contagious and dangerous it can be. The paramedic spent 3 weeks on duty in Melbourne and flew home to Adelaide on Wednesday night. A test has since returned a positive reading. It's one of the worst fears for health authorities, one of their own doing their job and falling victim to the virus. Fortunately, we're told she's in good spirits and recovering in quarantine.
I just want to reach out to her and say how proud we are of her and what she's done, selflessly putting herself in harm's way.
This is a risky business, and we are trying to help Victoria absolutely as much as possible.
But our commitment to Victoria's crisis is unwavering. Today, another team of nurse volunteers flew to Melbourne to help mainly in the disaster gripping their aged care system. They're experts in infection control, and they also have protective equipment and are highly trained, but they face similar dangers to the paramedic.
We are all very nervous. We don't really know what the situation is over there, but we have a beautiful planning team over there as well that's working very, very hard to assist us.
They've put up their hand to go over to Victoria and do what they can, particularly in the aged care environment, at a time that the situation is changing really quite dramatically.
And we're being told to brace ourselves for more cases here when the next plane load of repatriated Australians touches down in Adelaide from India tomorrow. Authorities are defending letting these people in when South Australians can't even return home themselves from Victoria. But we're told it's all part of our national duty to bring those back from global hotspots. Jane.
Thanks, Mike. There's anger tonight after a woman who snuck across the border in a truck escaped jail time and a fine. Lauren Rose is live in Mount Gambier, and Lauren, police have swooped on her alleged accomplice as well.
They have, Jane, and he'll spend the weekend behind bars while the 65-year-old woman accused of hiding his truck has walked free. Now, this is Patricia Cohen, who police say spent several weeks in Victoria before sneaking into SA sometime Tuesday night. The truck crossed the border in the southeast, where Cohen was dropped in Mount Gambier. The 43-year-old then continued on to Adelaide, but officers tracked him to Regency Park, where he was arrested this afternoon. We're told the accused know each other. Cohen fronted court today, where she was facing a maximum $20,000 penalty. She was convicted but walked free from court with a suspended sentence and no fine.
I'm disappointed because, quite frankly, I think we need to be sending a very strong message to anybody who is doing the wrong thing.
Our expectation is that penalties issued for breaches of the directions under the Emergency Management Act in this current set of circumstances should reflect community expectations. I'm not sure that's the case in this regard.
But the Commissioner says fresh calls to check every vehicle coming into our state are unrealistic. He says it would create backlogs at checkpoints and massive delays for freight. In the past 24 hours alone, 2,400 vehicles, essential workers, have entered South Australia. Back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. A popular Hindley Street nightclub's been slapped with a $5,000 fine after a tip-off about COVID breaches. Police say they uncovered footage from inside Red Square showing an illegal dance floor. This comes after this video emerged from North Terrace venue Fat Controller yesterday. It's hoped a COVID-19 vaccine could be on the market early next year thanks to South Australian researchers. A team at Flinders University says it's already cleared the first hurdle. There are now 2 more to go.
As the world waits and watches, Adelaide researchers are on the front foot and they're confident they're headed in the right direction.
The focus to date has been on showing that the vaccine is safe. Obviously, there have been no serious side effects whatsoever.
Professor Nikolai Petrovsky and his team are now prepping for Phase 2. The second round of testing is expected to involve people aged over 65 who are at a greater risk. They're hopeful aged care homes in Victoria will also take part.
To make sure that our vaccine is effective against COVID-19 in the elderly.
While researchers concede it's still early days, health authorities are quietly hopeful.
It's absolutely critical, and for this to be happening in South Australia is just brilliant.
If the next round of trials is successful, Phase 3 would involve 30,000 people worldwide, a massive undertaking for an even bigger result.
So it's going to be really a global effort. You know, the importance here is the whole world needs an effective vaccine, not just Australia.
Tim Hatfield, 7 News.
A police investigation into a violent arrest of an Indigenous man has cleared 2 officers of any wrongdoing. Andrea Nicholas is live at police headquarters, and Andrea, the Commissioner says the officers acted honestly and reasonably.
That's right, Jane. He says his own department reviewed the controversial incident, including body cam from the officers, and determined they behaved within the code of conduct. That's despite confronting video of one of the officers punching 28-year-old Noel Henry at least 3 times while he was pinned to the ground at Kilburn last month. They'd stopped him on suspicion of being in possession of drugs, but have since confirmed he had nothing on him. All charges against him were dropped, but today police confirmed fresh charges have been laid, including hindering police, resisting arrest and property damage.
I'm advised that there were no substances found as a result of the search process, but the individual's actions have resulted in him being charged.
The Commissioner says it's now up to a court to decide if the search was lawful in the first place when the matter's heard in October. For now, the officers are back on the beat. Jane?
Thanks, Andrea. A former high school music teacher has been acquitted of grooming a student for sex. Adrian Terrace walked from court a free man after a district court judge found him not guilty of all charges. The 48-year-old father of 3, known to his students as Mr T, was accused of kissing the girl and sending her more than 2,000 Facebook messages. His lawyer argued his actions may have been immoral, but they weren't criminal. 2 teenagers are lucky to be alive after their car plunged 30 metres down an embankment in the Adelaide Hills. Both men escaped the wreck with only minor injuries.
The passenger returned to the scene with his mobile camera this morning just as the vehicle had been pulled from the gully.
We looked at the car when it came back up and we couldn't believe that they were still here, which is very lucky.
What was it like when you went over the edge down there? It's incredible you survived. He was in no mood to chat, but his mate Liam describes what they were thinking when they flew over the edge.
Oh, I can't say it on TV, but holy crap.
The 2 19-year-olds were travelling along Gorge Road at Paracombe at 1:30 a.m. when the driver lost control. The Mitsubishi flew along the top of a guardrail, shredding car parts before plunging over the edge. The passenger crawled out of the wreck, climbed up the embankment and was standing on the road when police arrived. But the driver had to be winched to safety before being taken to hospital.
I'm very thankful he's still alive, and I saw him this morning. Well, he's drugged up. He's still, you know, a bit woozy and a few bruises, but yeah, he's fine.
I'd just like to thank the CFS for helping my friend get out of that, because that's pretty bad. So thank you.
Investigators will now try to determine if speed, inattention or drugs and alcohol contributed to the crash.
Don't be an idiot. Just, you think you're invincible behind the wheel, you're not. But just take it easy.
Peter Caldecott, 7 News.
A driver's in a serious condition after losing control of his car and smashing into a tree at Birdwood. The 25-year-old was rushed to the RAH where he remains in a stable condition. His 23-year-old passenger has minor injuries. And police are investigating a nasty crash between a motorcyclist and a car at Salisbury Heights. A rider in his 40s suffered serious injuries after colliding with a Ford station wagon on Main North Road. The driver of the car wasn't hurt. Melbourne's lockdown will almost certainly be extended, with a staggering 1 in 4 people who test positive not staying home. Victoria has recorded 627 new infections and 8 more deaths, 4 linked to aged care outbreaks.
The COVID crisis message couldn't be clearer.
For heaven's sake, you've got it. You have to stay at home.
But it's still not cutting through. At spot checks in Melbourne yesterday, more than 130 people with the virus were not home. A staggering 1 in 4 refusing to isolate. More than 100 cases have been referred to police.
There have been people who've not been home twice in a day. That's not exercise.
Prompting calls for isolation rule breakers to wear prison-style ankle bracelets.
We've got too many idiots with COVID who aren't following the rules, and we've got a government that's too soft to make them follow the rules.
Victoria fast losing the fight against its second wave. Melbourne's death toll now at 112.
We have 10,577 cumulative cases of coronavirus in Victoria.
627 new cases confirmed overnight, joining the battle the SAS of the medical world.
Get in there and provide some on-the-ground advice.
The first AUSMAT nurses joined the ADF to take on aged care facilities as the nursing home horror only gets worse. Shocking stories from the families who've managed to get their vulnerable loved ones out.
It's getting harder because of the communication we had. It was so bad.
The Prime Minister and the Victorian Premier held crisis talks last night, with Melbourne expected to be placed into harsher lockdown within days. The signs are not good.
If the data says that's not enough, then we will have to take further steps.
The state's chief health officer is not a fan of a full lockdown.
New Zealand went through a process of a very hard lockdown across multiple industries at a point where they had very little community transmission and much smaller numbers.
And we bought it all. It's a hoax of our lifetime.
It comes as anti-mask protesters clashed with police in a dramatic showdown at the Shrine of Remembrance. 3 self-proclaimed freedom fighters were arrested for refusing to wear a mask.
I'm responsible for the things that don't go right. Your responsibility is to follow the rules and play your part. I'll do mine, and I'm asking you to do yours.
Chanel Vella, 7 News.
Pensioners are being charged twice the rate of normal loans under a scheme the government says is trying to help them. Seniors groups are demanding changes to the pension loan scheme, warning it's hurting not only older Australians but the entire economy.
Australian retirees have billions of dollars in equity locked up in their homes, which many want to unlock.
That would be a massive stimulus for the economy.
They can do it through the government's pension loan scheme.
The rate is too high at 4.5, especially when the government can borrow money at less than 0.5%.
Australian seniors want that rate cut so more retirees can use the government reverse mortgage scheme to supplement their income, converting home equity into fortnightly payments. Single retirees who borrow up to $33,000 a year, $1,300 a fortnight. Couples borrowing $51,000, $2,000. But the 4.5% interest rate is way above mortgage rates of between 2 and 3% and start-up rates as low as 1.98%.
Anybody that has a rate of 4% or higher, in fact even 3% or higher, I would recommend look for a better value.
The government has cut the rate once in January and says it is lower than bank rates for reverse mortgages, but Labor says it should be much lower.
It's simply unconscionable that the government would seek to make a profit out of pensioners who are doing it tough.
The Treasurer says he's already cut the deeming rate for pensioners and provided 2 $750 stimulus payments.
We have
various payments and various interest rates that are set.
Suggesting this rate won't be reset. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Just 96 days out from the US election, Donald Trump has suggested it be postponed. The president raised fraud concerns, with many states planning to use postal votes during the pandemic.
An early morning tweet suggesting a late election. The president asking whether he should delay the November poll until people can properly, securely and safely vote.
What will happen in November? It's a mess.
Donald Trump claiming any result would be delayed.
I don't want to be waiting around for weeks and months and literally, potentially, if you really did it right, years, because you'll never know.
And that mail-in ballots are vulnerable to fraud and foreign interference.
And everyone knows it. Smart people know it. Stupid people may not know it.
All while he knows he doesn't have the power to change the date. The Constitution decrees only Congress can, and it never has.
Never in the history of the country, through wars, depressions, and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time, and we'll find a way to do that again this November 3rd.
His political allies and adversaries immediately rejecting the suggestion.
Few elections have been as urgent on so many levels as this one.
Democrats are accusing the president of simply trying to distract from economic news out today that America's just suffered its worst 3-month collapse on record. The president hitting back, accusing Democrats of intentionally keeping the economy shut down to cost him re-election.
They're looking at November 3rd. And probably a day later, they'll say, let's open up the country.
In Washington, D.C., Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Now let's check with Soda on what's coming up in sport.
Well, Jane, the Festival of Footy continues tonight with a couple of games on, but the big news is now the Crows have locked in their team to take on the Kangas tomorrow, and yes, Bryce is back after a little wait. And speaking of returns, Adelaide's Joe Ingles made a big statement during today's NBA reboot. Great to see basketball back. All that and plenty more coming up shortly.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Soda. Ahead on 7 News, a tight-knit Adelaide Hills community bouncing back from bushfire devastation. Also, bombshell report Bill Clinton's connections to paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Why an Australian pilot has been detained after crashing in PNG. And how to make a social media splash. A man in hot water for his aquarium stunt.
7 News brought to you by Optus.
So in the kitchen there can be a massive loop.
You have to spark, and I really want to make that a flame.
I might have kissed someone.
What?
Can I just have a minute, please?
You're scaring me. I don't know how to fix this. Beg you, don't run away from me.
A farmer will make one of the most important decisions of his life. New farmer wants a wife. Sunday on 7.
You've got to be kidding me.
He's ready to go.
It's easy to tame your home loan with our lowest ever fixed rate. Switch to Police Credit Union and lock in a cracking 3-year fixed rate home loan. You could save thousands. Call, visit a branch or find us online today.
From home time to sleepy time.
IKEA designs around life's precious moments. So make mess, mohawks, and laugh until your belly hurts. Because with IKEA, there really is no place like home.
The University of Adelaide is somewhere you can do what you love and become who you wish to be. A world-class institution in the heart of one of the world's most livable cities. Your place is here. Your time is now.
Oh, that's a relief. Yeah, what's that? The state government is delivering cheaper water bills.
Oh, that is a relief. Time for some new footy boots.
Yeah, they need it.
Yeah.
Discover how much you could save at sawater.com.au.
The guy in that truck's following me. We kind of exchanged words at an intersection, and now he's road raging.
Sounds like you're waking up.
Unhinged in cinemas now.
6 months on, South Australia's bushfire-shattered communities have received a much-needed cash injection. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been distributed to sporting clubs and local organisations still on the long road to recovery.
When fire tore through Cuddly Creek, it left a community on its knees.
Oh, you didn't have time to be frightened. That was the least of your worries.
It's all gone, and you've not had a chance to save a single thing. And the enormity of that, the emotional impact, is just unbelievable.
6 months on, and finally, a reason to smile. The community tennis and football clubs have each received $20,000 to get locals back in the game.
Because footy clubs and community clubs like tennis here are the core of communities. That's why it's so important.
The community revival grants make up a slice of the $9 million raised for local bushfire victims. From sporting groups to the arts, 22 projects will receive funding.
Unbelievable. For the South Australian public to donate the way they did just creates incredible change for our community.
And it's not just Adelaide Hills communities that will benefit. Grants worth more than $400,000 will also be headed to Kangaroo Island. There'll be a second round of applications opening next month for community groups that missed out.
Be confident and move forward. Start again.
Rosie Barnett, 7 News.
A New York judge has unsealed a cache of documents involving convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. In the court papers, one of Epstein's accusers claims to have seen former US President Bill Clinton on the billionaire's island with 2 young girls from New York. Virginia Robers, who's now based in Australia, also claims Epstein told her Mr Clinton owed him favours. Maxwell's lawyers tried to block the document's release. The 58-year-old has pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking charges. The Australian pilot of a plane which crashed in Papua New Guinea has been detained over suspected links to drug trafficking. The wreckage of the Cessna was found near a makeshift runway near Port Moresby. It had set out from far north Queensland on Sunday and wasn't cleared to enter the country. Police say a criminal group helped the pilot remove the drugs from the plane before trying to set it on fire. The moment 2 US police officers rushed into a burning barn to rescue a frightened horse has been caught on camera. They managed to get a rope around the animal and pull it out as flames take hold around them.
Come on, boy. Come on, out. Give me a rope. Give me a rope. Help us pull. Help us pull. Help us. Help us pull. Come on.
Despite its initial reluctance, the horse galloped away to safety once outside. 8 people were treated for minor injuries. A man who plunged into an aquarium at Sydney Zoo has found himself in hot water, issued with a court attendance notice by police. The 30-year-old was filmed diving into the tank on Monday afternoon. He swam with startled fish and his friends posted the video on social media. The swimmer's due in court in September to face several charges, including trespass and offensive behaviour. It's been faithfully telling us the temperature for more than 40 years, but we're sad to say its decades of service are now officially over. Amelia joins us from the Kent Town Weather Station. And Amelia, it gave its last reading just a short time ago.
Jane, it did. It was 17.9 degrees when the Kent Town station here was switched off, and the top it recorded was 20.5 today. And while it might not look like much behind me, all the instruments on this plot of land have recorded the temperature, humidity, wind speed and direction and rainfall for the city for 40 years before the West Terrace site was reinstated near Adelaide High in 2017. The two have been running concurrently till now, so the Bureau could compare the data. The Kent Town station was built alongside the Weather Bureau's office here in 1979, but it has since moved to the city, and recent development means the readings here now aren't as accurate as nearby buildings often obstruct the elements. It's seen its fair share of records. Its hottest temperature recorded here was 47.7 degrees last year, and its coldest night was minus 0.4 in 1982. And interestingly, it'll go out on a record as well, recording its driest July with just over 21 millimetres, and this will be the last time I say this, recorded in the Kent Town gauge. Jane.
Thanks, Amelia. Still to come on 7 News, pay to post. Social media giants asked to cough up for news content. Also, a carer charged over the death of an elderly man 3 years ago. Guilty plea, the first person in Australia charged with stealing cryptocurrency. And later, restaurants banding together to form a COVID cleaning club.
As major new developments unfold in Madeleine McCann's disappearance.
Investigators breaking ground as they search for Madeleine McCann.
Monday, the new investigation.
There's a missing child still out there.
Major new revelations.
He was there.
All leading to one key person. Now we can reveal all the details.
He was responsible for Madeleine's disappearance.
Madeleine McCann, the hunt for the prime suspect. Monday 9:30 on 7.
Come home to warmth and style with up to 70% off the distinctive Canning Vale range. Canning Vale's Winter Mega Sale is on now with checkout code FREE for free shipping and a 100-day home trial. Limited time only, canningvale.com. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers Revival Sale. You won't buy better with discounts up to 30% on most jewellery and weighted gold from just $40 a gram. It's time to shine and put some sparkle back into your life. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers.
Advocate protects against more parasites than any other treatment. So your pet is free to dream. Advocate, so everyone can rest easy.
At Harvey Norman, get 60 months interest free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. Make your home beautiful with our range of Australian-made furniture and bedding. Lounge and dining furniture with options to customise fabric, leather, size and shape. Trusted Australian-made mattress brands and bedroom furniture created to suit your style. We're open, so come in store and support Australian-made. Get 60 months interest free and receive a bonus gift card valued at up to $500. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! Coming to you live from the scene. Tell us what you've got there. Toilet paper?
Nah, just dinner stuff.
Right. You must have paid an unprecedented price for that during these unprecedented times.
Nah, they're from Aldi. Prices are always low.
Let's just go.
Whatever happens, our low prices are here to stay. Aldi. Good. Different.
Our top-notch team of stain experts are testing the toughest stains day and night to develop our best stain removal. New Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus. It removes tough stains for a superior clean. New Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus.
If you're ready to step into your first home, Simmons have 64,000 reasons to do it now. Because with us, you can get up to a massive $64K towards it. This includes the $40K now available to first home buyers who qualify for the government grants. Plus, up to $24K of Simmons upgrades for no extra cost. And for all other home buyers, the time is now too, with up to $24K of Simmons upgrades included at no extra cost. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. Hurry, offer ends July 31.
Can't wait for the next episode of Between Two Worlds? Go to 7 Plus right now or watch it Sunday on 7.
Google and Facebook could be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines under a news media bargaining code released today. The tech giants have been making billions from free content produced by traditional media such as 7 News. Now they're being asked to pay their fair share.
It's something many of us do every day. Here's something interesting, then Google News for more information. Easy, effective, but contentious. With millions of users, it's claimed Google and Facebook are making huge profits without paying a cent for news content.
Australia's online advertising market is worth more than $9 billion a year.
Over 70% of that goes to the tech giants. Today, a draft bargaining code was released. ACCC Chair Rod Sims saying,
"This is a move whose time has come."
Parties would get 3 months to negotiate a fair deal for outfits like
Seven West Media, News Corp, Nine Entertainment Limited.
If not, it goes to compulsory arbitration. Google doesn't like it, claiming the government's heavy-handed intervention threatens to impede Australia's digital economy. But the government is serious, saying a healthy media sector is vital.
Non-compliance with the code will attract significant penalties.
That could be hundreds of millions of dollars. Seven West Media welcoming what it called an important step in creating further momentum towards ensuring we are fairly remunerated for our significant investment.
The ACCC will now seek feedback by the end of August. Legislation could follow shortly after, with payments flowing to media companies within 6 months of the code becoming law. Miley Hogan, 7 News.
A carer has been charged with manslaughter 3 years after the death of an elderly man in Sydney. 46-year-old Art Rangtananan was Dennis Huberman's live-in carer when the 76-year-old man was found dead inside their apartment in 2017. A post-mortem found he died from pneumonia. Police now allege the carer was reckless and grossly negligent in his duty of care. He fronted court today but made no application for bail. A woman at the centre of a murky cryptocurrency fraud is facing a whopping bill and the prospect of jail time. It's been revealed she may have to pay back $250,000.
Catherine Nguyen is the crypto fraudster who took all the risk but allegedly got none of the reward.
You haven't profited a cent out of this?
Are you Sydney's dumbest thief? She's pleaded guilty to fraud, the first in Australia charged with stealing cryptocurrency.
Maybe you should do your job better.
Nguyen says she was given the password to the man's account, then she transferred cryptocurrency worth $239,000 into her own account, then into another untraceable overseas account. Police here alerted Chinese authorities who froze the funds and confiscated what they could trace, not even $13,000.
Who else was involved in this? Who gave you the password to this account?
I think you got your facts wrong.
You won't be making any comments, sir.
But when it came to barristers, the Epping woman was able to secure the services of a former Supreme Court judge, Greg James QC, who said someone else has the profit and she has the liability. The court has been asked to make a compensation order to repay the victim every dollar.
You're now $250,000 in debt.
Who said that?
It was just sitting in court.
No comment.
There's no evidence that Nguyen profited from this whole enterprise at all. No suggestion that she has the money hidden in an offshore bank account. And now, when she's sentenced next month, she could well be going to jail. Evan Batten, 7 News.
And still to come on 7 News, an apartment block up in flames, the race to get residents out alive. Also, the fake Australia Post packages costing the company millions. And party time, racing identities pony up for the nominal horse's birthday.
The Aussie taking on the world's biggest stage, blindfolded. America's Got Talent, Tuesday on 7.
Great food lives in Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Make your move and make it undeniably yours. The BMW 118i from $149 per week at 4.99% per annum. Business customers only. Search BMW 1 Series.
A warm home is a safe home. Illusion gas log fires once in a lifetime massive stock inventory reduction sale. We must sell the lot. Over $10 million of Australian-made heaters must be cleared this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 355 Main North Road, Enfield.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Looks great. Thanks.
Get that Allianz feeling. Call or search for a quote today.
Forget about your worries and your strain.
It's time to relax.
I nap a lot.
Chill out and let your hair down.
Let down your hair.
There's a bit of Disney Plus in all of us.
Cookie people, cream people, crumbs people, clean people, twist people, lick people, dunk people, munch people. It's time to play, people. If you twist, lick, dunk, then you're my people. We are Oreo people.
Life's full of and even. No matter how messy life gets, Handy Paper Towel is handy for every situation. Handy Paper Towel. Keep it handy.
There are two ways to make a mattress. The cheap way, one piece, single-sided with attached pillow top made out of foam. Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way, two-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise. Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. Nobody.
Meet the most incredible best mates. But does Benji realise he's a goat? Can Harry sort this out on New Better Homes? Next up on 7/2.
At least 4 people are in hospital after a huge apartment building fire in the US state of Pennsylvania. Firefighters say the blaze spread quickly, partly because the building might not have complied with the latest fire regulations.
Just after dark, and fire rips through the Ashwood apartments in Pottstown, about 60 kilometres west of Philadelphia. It started on the top floor of the 3-storey building and spread fast. Dozens of fire crews responded, but were hampered by poor water pressure. Also reports the building predated modern safety rules, meaning flames raced through the ceiling space unchecked.
And there were no sprinklers in there, so there was no way to fight the flames.
Firefighters attacked the blaze with trucks and ladders, but had little chance against the inferno. The building was destroyed. 4 people were rushed to hospital, but everyone made it out alive.
There was somebody who did say it was a chemical fire, so I'm not sure what that means.
125 people are now homeless, the Red Cross finding alternate accommodation.
We are going to be able to help these folks with temporary lodging for people who obviously won't be able to get back in tonight or maybe any time in the near future.
The cause of the blaze is still under investigation. Andrew Denny, 7 News.
4 members of a suspected crime syndicate have been charged by federal police, accused of importing fake Australia Post satchels from China. Police seized 2.3 tonnes of fake prepaid parcel bags worth an estimated $2 million. The 3 men and 1 woman are due in court in coming months. The AFP is not ruling out further arrests. One of the few job sectors booming during the pandemic has been cleaning, and big money's being invested in training and equipment. High-tech spray guns and long-lasting disinfectant are the weapons of choice against coronavirus and just about every other germ.
Inside Bondi Icebergs, the front line in the fight against COVID-19 to protect public venues. So far, the famous beachside eatery has avoided any contact with the virus and wants to keep it that way.
It's important to us to be able to be best in class, basically, to be on the front foot the entire step of the way.
For restaurants and pubs across the city, the focus now not just a deep clean, but a protective layer to shield surfaces in the event an infected person comes inside, the treatment lasting 28 days.
Any area that's had this application, it actually means that virus will be killed instantly.
Studies show COVID-19 is a remarkably resilient virus outside the host, able to survive on surfaces for up to 72 hours, meaning a simple touch from a carrier on Tuesday is enough to infect someone today.
I'd have concerns going to a venue that hadn't taken this precaution.
A group of Sydney restaurants now banding together, guaranteeing cleans like these every month.
We're going above and beyond with social distancing, with sanitisation, with keeping things clean.
Cameron Price, 7 News.
Bound for the Red Planet, NASA's latest and most ambitious hunt for life on Mars blasted off overnight. The Australian technology that could help track down vital clues. Don't miss that story ahead in 7 News. In Australia, every horse has a birthday on the 1st of August, but the celebrations began a day early at Morfettville with a pony named Chocolate, today's guest of honour. It took some time to warm to the occasion, but in the end, Chocolate seemed quite happy to have the cake and eat it too. Local racing icons Claire Lindop, John Letts and Leon McDonald also had reason to celebrate. They've just had races renamed in their honour. Chocolate looks like a very cute little chap.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to all the horses. And Travis Spoke tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, yes. And finally, he's back. We know who we're talking about?
Yes, we have to go back to round one, which was before the COVID break. Bryce Gibbs will be back in the Crows jumper tomorrow. Also coming up, Port Adelaide remind the footy world why they are on top of the ladder after belting the Demons. Adelaide's Joe Ingles leads the Utah Jazz to a thrilling victory in the NBA restart. And Adelaide United continues its late charge to the A-League finals with a spectacular 5-goal romp.
A Friday night spectacular that'll light up the Festival of Footy. What a mark! Can the Bombers fly up the ladder? What about that for a goal? Or will they be mauled by the hungry Lions? No more close calls. Adelaide are edging closer to the win that will kickstart their season.
Is this his big moment?
North and the Crows from Metricon in footy's traditional time slot. The biggest Festival of Footy ever continues tonight on 7.
Hey SA, are you planning a holiday in our own state? I hope you are. Then you can go to places like here, or here, or here. We're going to get your road trip ready at the Caravan and Camping Week.
Go online to watch info sessions, learn about products and talk to experts live. Plus, over 40 stores have huge sales in-store on caravans, campers and accessories. Get your new free road trip ready guide and join our new SA Caravan and Camping Club.
So get yourself road trip ready, caravanandcampingsa.com.au.
Experience the Proform Kitchen's difference for yourself. Plus, order your new Proform Kitchen this month and receive free installation. Contact us for a free measure and quote or visit our newly renovated showroom today.
Big brands are on sale at Peter Shearer. Casual wear up to 50% off. Business shirts up to 50% off. Shoes up to 50% off. Suits from $2.99. 2 trouser suits $4.49. Peter Shearer Menswear. Always the brand with the big brands.
Get your Woolies worth with great weekly specials, like Australian pork shoulder boneless roast, now just $6.50 a kilo. Save $1 a kilo.
That's why I pick Woolies.
And in breaking news, massive savings are taking place right now across all Haggleco stores. Let's take a look.
Modern Chase Lounge, $5.99. Family Corner Lounge, $19.99.
As you can see, they're serving up the savings at Haggleco.
Up to 50% off Australian-made mattresses and rugs from $49.
It's raining discounts here at Haggleco. Back to you. There you have it. That's the news at Haggleco.
I remember seeing this thing, towing an earth mover like it was nothing. It was incredible. I just had to follow. Here I am, owner of a small metal island.
This Sport Report brought to you by the Ford Ranger. Live the Ranger life.
Hello again. Matthew Nicks has handed Bryce Gibbs a chance to revive his stalled AFL career against the Kangaroos tomorrow on the Gold Coast. And it's been a while between drinks. Theo Doropoulos joins us. Bryce is finally back, mate.
He is Soda now. Bryce hasn't played since round 1 against Sydney and comes in to fill the hole left by the hamstring injury to club champion Brad Crouch. So Gibbs is one of 4 changes along with Kelly, Atkins and Riley Knight. It's his first game since round 23 last season. Tom Doyle and Brad Crouch are injured. David McKay and Fisher Mackesy have been managed. North Melbourne has dropped Jared Polek and spearhead Ben Brown. So Gibbs has only played 14 games in the last 2 years and it's fueled strong speculation about his future with 1 year left on his contract. Here's what coach Matthew Nicks had to say.
We've been really pleased with what he's been doing off field, leadership, working with our younger group, his attitude, he's been up and about, so we felt his performance on the weekend was enough to warrant selection.
So with Doday out, Brodie Smith will lead the Crows. He's the 3rd captain this season.
If you told me I'd captain any footy club, I would have laughed in your face and it would have been a dream come true. But to tell me that I would be captaining the Adelaide Footy Club, I probably would have told you to get stuffed, to be honest. So obviously a lot's changed. I'm so happy that I got drafted here, even though I was a Port supporter.
Wayne Miller moving freely was a sight for sore eyes. The club says he's still at least 3 weeks away from a return from foot surgery. Darcy Fogarty trained, but his shoulder's still not 100%. He's only 50-50 for Wednesday's clash with the Demons. Theodoropoulos, 7 News.
Well, a crushing 51-point win over Melbourne has maintained Port Adelaide's spot on top of the AFL ladder. The Power came through the game unscathed and now have just 4 days before taking on the Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval.
Port returned with its 6th win from 7 starts in Queensland, answering the challenge of bouncing back after their 29-point loss to the Saints.
We obviously played as well as we possibly probably could, I reckon, tonight, and we don't want to be that response team, but it's better to respond than not.
The Power set the tone right from the start. Georgiades kicked the first of his 3 goals in the opening minute, and at no stage did the Demons threaten. As expected, Gawn dominated the hitouts, but Port were ready, and when it hit the deck, the midfield took care of it.
Ollie and I thought Trav around the ball, and even Sam Powell-Pepper as a group, they come in and really powered away, and Rock played his role for us, coming in off a few weeks out.
Port's outside run was just as impressive.
Dersma and Amon as well, and also Farrell, who plays a little bit up on the wing, and we've got Butters and Rosie who can go there a little bit. So yeah, when we get it right, our balance looks okay, and tonight we got it pretty close to right.
Westhoff was reliable up forward, booting 2, and Dixon drew a crowd, which created opportunities for others. Oliver copped a fine for this. Laddam's hit in the second quarter, and defender McKenzie should be okay for the Bulldogs clash after missing the last 2 games with a sore back. And for their thoughts, here's Seven's John Casey and Dale Lewis.
Thanks, Hazy. It's the halfway stage of the season. 8 rounds completed, 8 to play after this weekend, Louis, and Port continue to impress.
Very impressive case. Really good bounce back after an ordinary effort the week before. Georgiades, Travis Boak, Burn Jones, the list goes on and on, all of the kids. But the man was Robbie Gray. That one moment that I think Kenny Hinkley and the boys in the box would have been just so wrapped with, so hard at the footy, so late in the game, really sets up their season and is the prime example of what Port Adelaide are about.
Well, it's been 12 months since Adelaide and Port won on the same weekend. Is the drought going to break?
Fingers crossed. We need one. And Adelaide have been getting better and better. They've got to take the game on more. Tex was good jumping around. They used the footy a little bit better.
Last roll of dice for Bryce Gibbs?
It is, in a sense. I'm hoping he's in and he's going to get a month of footy.
With 4 games in 16 days, Coach Nicks has said he wants to rest players. Tex Walker's got other ideas.
I've certainly had the conversation with him about probably having a rest over the next 3 or 4 games, but if I'm feeling good, I'll keep playing.
Interesting stuff. Would you play him, Louis?
I would while he's feeling it, but that's a week-to-week discussion with the coach, because one week you can feel good, as you know, Case, and the next week you don't.
Good to see you again. And so to just finally, the first ever Dreamtime in Darwin game between Essendon and Richmond to take place on August 22.
Yeah, good on you, boys. That is good news. Now, the first game of tonight's doubleheader is underway with Carlton taking on the Hawks in Perth. Short time ago, the Hawks led by 19 points. Meanwhile, the AFL has come down hard on both of those teams, as well as North Melbourne and Richmond, for breaking coronavirus protocols in Queensland. The 4 clubs have been hit with combined fines totalling $180,000. The Hawks received the heaviest whack, copping a $50,000 fine, the other 3 $45,000. Now, the SANFL has made further fixture announcements with plenty of night games set to feature. Rounds 8 to 12 will see 7 games played under lights, with home matches at Norwood, West Adelaide and Glenelg. And this weekend, Sevens game of the round is Sturt and the Bays from 2 o'clock on Sunday. We're looking forward to that. Now, a 5-3 triumph last night has Carl Viet just one more victory away from being installed as Adelaide United's full-time coach. The club says they would cancel upcoming interviews and hand Viet the reins if they beat Sydney next week.
Carl Viet has flipped Adelaide United's fortunes after just 3 games in charge. The Reds doing everything right in the race for the finals.
Did you see that coming? 5-3?
No, it was maybe a few too many goals in our end for my liking, but no, very happy for the boys.
Riley McGree couldn't convert early, but the Reds still went ahead through captain Michael Jakobsen's header, his first goal for the club. Lachlan Brook made it 2 in 2 minutes when he scored his first A-League goal, and Perth were laying down on the job, Opseth nodding home the simplest of headers. Ben Halloran then scored his 11th goal of the season, and the Reds were cruising 4-1 up at half-time. As Perth looked to find a way back into the clash, United substitute Pacific Nyongabiri's goal and celebration stole the show.
Nyongabiri, big chance and scores! He's only been out there for a couple of minutes. There's the celebration. Elvis has been promising.
While they're in scintillating form, winning their final 2 games wouldn't guarantee Adelaide United a finals berth, but winning just one would secure Carl Viet the top job. Robbie Cornthwaite, 7 News.
Well, the NBA bounced back to life today with Adelaide's Joe Ingles steering Utah to a 2-point win over the New Orleans Pelicans.
Around the defender, Ingles, stationary Jay, he's got it.
This is great. Ingles finished with 13 points as the Jazz won a thriller by 2 points. The same margin the Lakers had over crosstown rivals the Clippers. LeBron James, of course, with the winner. And our one to watch tomorrow is Venatius. That's in race 4 at Morphettville. Good luck with that if you have a flutter. That's our sport. Coming up, Bombers and Lions. What about this for news? Former Crow Charlie Cameron, loving the Lions so much, he's just inked a new deal that'll keep him there until the end of 2025. So another 5 seasons after this.
And is that a lucrative deal?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of cash for Charlie. Be a very happy chappy right now.
Good news. Thanks very much, Soda. To your money, and coronavirus concerns have wiped out weeks' worth of stock market gains. The ASX 200 tumbled 2%, down 123 points. Among the market movers, Westpac shed 58 cents and Qantas lost 13. The Aussie dollar's buying 72 US cents and $1.07 New Zealand. Stay with us after the break. Is there life on Mars? How Australian technology could hunt down vital clues.
And today's sunshine will stay around to kick off the weekend tomorrow, and it's looking a little warmer than first thought too. I'll be back with all the details in the forecast coming up after the break.
Francis bought a house in Tuscany.
A movie about renovating with spectacular views. Under the Tuscan sun, tonight on Mate.
What are we doing this weekend?
Just the usual.
Austral Genesis 9-person tent, save $220. 20% off a huge range of reels and combos. Flea more, pay less.
Sunboost is continuing to support Australian households with affordable solar by extending the end of financial year discount.
Install a 6.6 kilowatt system, just $35.91. Extended to Friday, July 31 only. Call 1300 Sunboost.
You know, you can dress a car up with all the luxury trimmings. You can give it honeycomb stitched seats in the softest Napa leather. Install the finest Bang & Olufsen sound system and paint it in the deepest, most sumptuous colour. Heck, you could even put a pampered pooch named Gaston in the back. Sure, you can make it look and feel for all the world like a luxury road car. But when its mother is a race car, its father is a race car, and it comes from a very long, very fast line of race cars. Well, as Sir Isaac Newton might have said, the apple never falls far from the racetrack.
Hello. When Rego pops up, hello, choose QBE for CTP for your car and say hello to a $25 e-gift card. Go to qbeforctp.com.au. Ends August 31st. Terms apply.
We started Boccaccio in 1958, more or less from nothing.
We were there selling cheeses and mortadellas, Parma ham, before the supermarkets even knew what delis looked like. I've got 11 grandchildren working on the cash registers and a few more to follow shortly.
Food and wine is the centre of our lives. Boccaccio IGA, as we are here, is like 45 years old. Our customers are basically friends and family. They've seen us all grow up.
The most stunning tree change.
How is it that you came about renovating a church?
Transforming an amazing piece of history into an awesome home. The inside look.
This is next level.
Then meet the most incredible best mates. But does Benji realise he's a goat? On New Better Homes, next up on 7/2.
News happens 7 days a week.
Remains a mystery.
Telling your stories, because they're our stories too.
A day they'll never forget.
The most trusted, the most experienced.
House was already fully engulfed in flames.
Adelaide turns to 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Travelling at 40,000 kilometres an hour, an American spacecraft is headed for Mars on a mission to discover if there once was life on the red planet. And it's an Australian leading the team who could provide the vital clue.
0.
Release. Liftoff in a new search for life on Mars.
The perseverance of humanity launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the red planet.
Beginning its 7-month, 480 million kilometre journey, Australian astrobiologist Abigail Allwood, part of the mission.
This has been, our lives have been consumed by this, all of the whole family, for the last several years. And to think that it's now on the way to another planet is just, it's surreal.
Perseverance will focus on a crater once an ancient lake. The car-sized rover fully loaded to explore with cameras, probes, drills. Abigail responsible for Pixel, which will study the chemistry of rocks and soil for telltale signs of fossilised microbes.
The clues are in the rocks, the clues to the past processes and environments and any biology that might have lived on planet Mars in the past would be in the rocks.
So is this the instrument that will answer the question, was there life on Mars?
I hope it will play a significant role in contributing to that answer.
Software being developed at the Queensland University of Technology will be analysing the data it sends back. The rover also has a tiny helicopter to survey the landscape, microphones so we can hear what Mars sounds like. It will try to make oxygen from the Martian air, all steps towards humans heading to Mars as early as the 2030s. When Perseverance arrives at Mars in February, it will not be alone. There's a probe from the United Arab Emirates and a rover from China already on their way for their own Red Planet rendezvous. Giant leaps to answer big questions. In the United States, Paul Kadak, 7 News.
Clever stuff. Back on Earth, humpback whales have put on a spectacular show in warm waters off Brazil. Environmentalists say the mammals are much happier this year due to a decrease in shipping because of the coronavirus crisis. The quieter environment is expected to give the whales a greater chance to find food. Well, time for more on the weather now. And Amelia, it's been a warm one today.
It has, Jane, warm today and it's looking warmer tomorrow too, although sadly we won't know how warm it'll get here in Kent Town with the weather station here officially switched off late today. It had been providing data for the city for more than 40 years, the last 3 years of data alongside the new West Terrace station, which we switched to when it was built in 2017. Now, it's saying the current temperature in the city is 15 degrees and we hit a top of 19.9 there today with northerly winds and plenty of sunshine contributing to warmer than average temperatures right across the board. This morning there was patchy fog and frost about central and eastern districts, and dewy conditions led to readings in the rain gauge at several locations, including Stenhouse Bay and at Pandana. Today's sunny conditions were brought to you by a high pressure system over Victoria, which will stay put over the weekend. We're expecting a weak trough to pass to the south tomorrow and on Sunday before a low develops over SA next week. Interstate and that big high will generate fine conditions across much of the country country tomorrow too, down to -2 degrees overnight in Canberra. Back home and another clear winter's days ahead. Those clear skies will lead to a cold start about northern districts though, with a bit of patchy frost expected there. 19's the forecast top for Port Lincoln, Kadina, Nuriotpa and Victor Harbour. 22 for Renmark and Murray Bridge. 18 for Clare and Mount Gambier, with a slight chance of a shower about the south of the lower southeast late in the day. In the city, down to 9 degrees overnight, then mostly sunny, 20's the top. On metro waters, north to nor'easterlies to 15 knots in the morning, tending north to nor'westerly to 20 later. Surf-wise, well, you might get lucky late Saturday, but Sunday around Victor and Yorks is probably your best bet for some decent waves this weekend. Looking ahead, and there could be a bit of fog around Sunday morning, then partly cloudy, 17's the top. We'll take a dip temperature-wise Tuesday down to 14, with showers now not expected until Thursday. But today, we wrap up a very dry July, just 17 millimetres in total in the gauge, Jane.
Very dry indeed. I'm looking out for the R word, rain. Well, that's all the news for now. I'll have updates through the evening. Stay with us as we count down to the Essendon-Brisbane clash from the Gold Coast. From the rest of the team here in the 7 Adelaide newsroom, though, good night.